Buying camo stuff, big lifted trucks. All we do in the south is hunt for that buck. Never get this stuck, so you better have a truck. Messing with me will leave you covered in mud. Country boy swagger, boots on my attire. Everybody hating, but I ain't really minding. It's awesome, my truck can't leave you blinded. Let me show you how it's done, just get behind me.
Today we are going to be replacing the right CV axle on the Jeep, and the reason that we are going to be replacing it is because the reason we're going to be replacing the CV axle is because we believe that it's broken, and some of the symptoms that I'm experiencing for all the people out there that want to know, I am getting a lot of play at the wheel, and when I turn the wheel in any direction, this tire specifically does a clicking, and it does not turn as it should. So we believe that the right CV axle has a problem going on with it, and we're going to replace that and see if that resolves the issue. Stay tuned. Got a jack stand under here, but just in case, I always like to put the tire under the car as well. It's actually something my brother told me to do. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And this is just in case for some reason something happens and that jack stand fails. Hopefully that tire is going to catch the vehicle before the vehicle catches your legs and you walk around like Cotton from King of the Hill. I'm gonna remove this bolt first. This is, what size is this again? 36 millimeter. Yep, this is a 36 millimeter socket. We're gonna remove this big bolt so we can get the brake caliper out of the way and take a few more things off so we can access the CV axle. So there's that, and as always, I put all my stuff in the same position. To go the right way? Yeah, it looked like it is. Now we are removing the two bolts that are holding on the brake caliper. And we're gonna set the brake. We're gonna set the brake caliper. Sorry, I'm trying to get under here. We're gonna set the brake caliper on the jack stand right here for you guys. There it goes.
Don't take it all the way out before you loosen the other one.
I had to break that thing. That was a new juke. Oh, and this one's gonna suck. All right, and the reason we're setting the, sorry, because I know I'm all over the place. The reason that we're going to set the brake caliper on the jack stand is because we don't want to disconnect the brake line and have to bleed the brakes. So we're gonna speed through this and we'll be right back. Now that we have the brake caliper loose, I'm going to push it off and sit it on the jack stand. How do I sit it? Just like this, so that we are not making the brake line come loose. And that's out the way. Now we are going to be moving over. We're about to take the nut off the control arm. To the nut on the control arm right here, and we're going to loosen it up. That's what size socket?
22.
22 for the WK Jeeps. And the reason I'm specifically,
For these.
Oh yeah, sorry, for the JBA upper control arms for WK Jeeps. And the reason I'm specifically telling you guys the sizes for this is because this is an issue that a lot of people run into when they lift their Jeep so high. So I'm going to remove that real quick and then go to the next step in the process. That's removed. Set that up there. We got a hammer. Douglas took his, didn't he?
Probably.
Well, gotta knock this loose. So we'll find something and we'll get it knocked loose. But yeah, this is for the JBAs. It's a 22, and we had a few more things we need to take loose before we'll be able to access the CV axle, and we'll get that pulled out. And we're back, and we're about to knock the steering knuckle loose from the upper control arm. Yeah, so stay tuned. Do I need to hit it a different way or just pull it?
Just keep hitting it on the sides. We can't get it from coming loose somewhere. I'll show you another way to do it.
Well, what else I need to do here? Alright, now we're going to remove the tie rod on the front. This is a 21 millimeter. Use the deep socket. Well, right here if I stayed on.
Hit your knuckle.
Huh?
Hit your knuckle.
Hit this?
Yeah.
Here's this. Am I tripping? This is what I need to be pushing out right here?
Yeah.
This is what get in here. Now we're going to remove the bottom of the fork for the lift, and hopefully we can get this pulled out. After that, should give me enough room. Get on there. Alright, there's that. Let's see this. I think I might need to take this off so that I can get what you talking about for that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, just pull the nose out and turn the knuckle to the side.
That's what I'm trying to do. I can't get the. Hold on. See what I'm saying? It's like literally too long. Plus, we're gonna have to put it back in.
Hmm.
Let me see. That 21. Matter of fact, let's see that 23. That 24. Whatever we just handled. Let's see what we got. 21. Can you do something for me? Take that one. All right.
Where you head?
Whoop. Oh. 21. That thing. I don't have any more jack stands, do we? Alright, this is 22, and this is going on the lower control arm so that we can move the steering knuckle out and pull out the CV axle. That was easy. Alright, there's that. Okay, so We have the steering knuckle propped up on the jack because we don't want our brake line hanging hard or with resistance on it. We have gotten the end of the CV axle outside of the steering knuckle, and we are about to try to pry the inside from the transfer case. That's correct, right?
Yep.
Yeah, from the transfer case, and then we're going to pull it under our strut here, and then we're going to insert the new CV axle into the transfer case, and hopefully that's going to fix our issues. Right now what I'm about to do is try to pry the steering knuckle from the transfer case and
Axle.
huh?
Axle. You said everything right
What did I
until
say?
right this steering knuckle.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the CV axle, sorry. We're going to try to pry the CV axle from the transfer case, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so I just pried it out, and it just literally pulls out like that. And now that you see it's loose, we're looking at it, and let's see if we can see any damage here. It don't look like it's damaged to me.
The damage is gonna be in the boots.
This thing's been in there for a while. So there's the old one, and we're about to put in the new one. Leave that there. You can stop it.
Right.
All right, so now we got a side-by-side comparison. This is the factory CV axle. This is the new Napa CV axle. I got the Napa ones because they have a lifetime warranty as long as you don't rip the boot. I didn't even rip the boot on this one, but we're gonna get this put back in, which shouldn't take us nearly as long. And
Leave the
then-
nut on.
Huh?
Leave the nut on.
Okay, we're gonna get this put back in, and we are going to go from there. All right. All right, so basically, when you're going to reinsert your CV axle, what you're gonna do is you're going to spin it a little bit and see if you can get it to go in. And when you get it right, you won't feel any resistance. So what you see me doing here, and it just went in, what you saw me doing there was I kept pulling it until I didn't have any resistance. And once I did get it in, I knew that it was positioned correctly. And now we're going to get the end back inside of our steering knuckle, and we're going to get everything bolted up, and we'll go for a drive and see if that fixed our problem. But yeah, that's a CV axle removal and install. Really the install part is just the opposite of the removal, and I feel like the removal is gonna, you know, it takes a little bit longer just because you're sitting things out, you're getting everything prepared. But we're gonna get this finished, and then we'll go from there. Thank you. All right, what I'm doing right now is I'm putting my sway bar link back in so that I can have the steering knuckle up so that I can rotate here, because I have to do the same thing here to get the splines to line up that I was doing in the transfer case. If it does not line up, it will not go in, and if you feel resistance, it's not correct. But yeah, so right now I'm going to put this sway bar link back in, tighten it up a little bit, and we'll torque everything down correctly at the end. But I'm going to put that back in so that I can work on, I might need you to give me, well, you know, just do this because I don't really need it tight anyway. Yeah, give me another ratchet, please. Alright, so we went ahead and take the rotor off as well, and we're going to take the brakes and pads off. We're just going to go ahead and replace the rotors and the brakes and pads since we're replacing the CV axles. That way hopefully we don't have to come back down here for a while. That's the hope. But yeah, so the rotor's off, and really all that takes is we took the pry bar and we went in between the plate and the steering knuckle, and we just pried the rotor off. We're going to replace the rotor because it's worn down, and at the very least it would need to be turned, but we're just going to go ahead and replace everything. That way pretty much everything down here aside from the lower control arms will be brand new, and the sway bar links. But we're gonna go ahead and replace the brake rotors as well. So, yep. All right, so don't mind the noise you hear in the background. That's me about to start the Jeep. The battery died. We are on the passenger side. We've done pretty much everything the same. The one thing we did not do this time is take the brake caliper off, because we actually didn't need to. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Old CV axle to new CV axle. We're about to put this one in. And I wanted to show you guys both sides because they look a little different. Make sure you can see that. I wanted to show you guys both sides because they look a little different, right? But this is the correct CV axle for the 2005 to 2010 Jeep Grand Cherokees with Quadra Drive 2. So I'm about to put this in, and it's fairly similar in process to the other one. The one difference is it looks different, right? So I didn't want anybody to be confused if they came to do this install, but basically you just take the end and you keep rotating it little by little until it just goes on, and eventually you'll get it on. But yeah, you just keep rotating this and it'll just slide in when you got it matched up. And there it goes. There it goes. All right. So now I'm taking my bolt off. I'm about to put the end in, and we're going to get everything bolted back up. And that is replacing the CV axles in the Jeep. Yep. Thanks for watching, guys.